Well, hello there, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I don't know where you are right now, but this is Andy. It's a great pleasure to be chatting to you again on behalf of Ellie, whose lovely materials allow me to talk to teachers, to give you ideas to teach, whether you are in a physical classroom with large groups or small groups, or teaching from home. And of course, at the moment, we're still working remotely. Or in some cases, blended learning. Some at the moment in the UK, there are some schools dividing the days. Some days the kids are in school, the next day they're at home to balance the size of the classes. So we're slowly, oh, and haven't we learned a lot? I mean, we just never stop learning. So we have an hour, and this is a session for primary teachers. I mean, I don't mind who you teach. You can certainly adapt the ideas, but I'm going to be using some materials which are for primary learners. I mean, any kind of young age. And I've written in the presentation that there are 10 things, but I think I'm going to show you more. And I think as we go through, you'll have the general idea of what I like to do with Coursebooks, or what we should do with Coursebooks, which I think isn't necessarily just because of teaching remotely. I've always felt very strongly that the teacher has to be creative with the coursebook, because I'm going to show you some lovely coursebook material today, I hope. Well, I will show you, but I think we also are aware that when we are in a physical classroom, there are challenges to using a coursebook, because sometimes it's hard to know if they're on the same page, literally. Or are they looking at the right exercise? Are they clear what to do? I mean, how often in your life have you had this chance to be right close to them, and pacing your lesson? Remember, slow it down. And there are different sessions about this, about keeping your camera just right. I'm not over here and I'm not looking over there all the time. And it might be good for you to look this way, but how do you feel when I'm talking over here? That doesn't feel very friendly. And in order for me to look at you like this feels like I'm really talking to you. But I can tell you that I'm actually I'm looking at my camera. Maybe you've discovered this a long time ago. But in order for me to look like I'm really connecting with you, I have no idea what's happening on my screen, really. I do, but I'm making sure you see my face. And I think that's one of the key things we've all learned, is to keep contact with our students, even when they're doing activities, maybe something that you're doing with them online, and you simply stay there visible. People can contact you, and sometimes I don't think it's nice to turn off the camera and disappear. Maybe the students have 5 minutes to do something, and you could be here, working, marking, coffee. And you go, oh yes, Maria, you have a question, are you okay? You're the teacher, and you can still be in the classroom doing nothing other than letting them do their work, and you can check in more virtual ways. So I suppose the first point I want to make is, are you making the effort to connect with the students in a very visual way, and not looking over here, and you're not doing that thing here, and that we don't want to teach like this, and you look like that guy on the wall. So we've got to think, how do we look? How good can we look to make our students realize that we're making every effort to connect? And so I'm going to share some slides and go through some ideas of what I can do with some materials from primary course books. Okay, but first I want to check that you're all there. And the nature of this technology today, this platform I'm using, it means that I can only see the chat if I stop sharing slides. So I'm not sharing any slides at the moment, but I will. But first, just to see who's there, I can just see we've got about 100 people. Could you just put in the name of the place, the town, or the city where you are watching from? Okay, just put in the chat so I can see anything coming up. I hope I can read all the chat. Anybody there? Is there anybody out there? I'm putting in hello. Put in the chat, or maybe it's going to come up as questions. Ah, I see. Interesting. I'm learning something here. Well, I do know this platform. It means that I have to go to the questions area of my chat. That's okay. So, okay, just so I know this is working, what is the weather like where you are right now? Let's check. What, sunny, hot? Oh, you lucky. Lucky, lucky, lucky. I'm English, but I live in Scotland, and I'm afraid it's typical today. It's wet and dark. Hot. Okay, here's another question, my lovely teachers. Okay, which month is your birthday? Okay, May, March. Okay, you're all there. All right. Okay, do you like my shirt? Yeah, thank you. No! Oh, I hope Panos is using sense of humor. Love it. Okay, Hawaiian isn't, no. But whenever I wear this shirt, I get a lot of comments. So I always ask, oh, okay. Well, let's hope my presentation is as good as my shirt. All right. Okay. So now I know you're there. All right. And, you know, look at me. I'm trying to do my best to look all kind of enthusiastic, because I am enthusiastic and I like helping you. But I'm in a room. Look, I'm just in my lounge at home. All right. Let me show you my home. Okay. So here we are. Look, there's the window. You can see the rubbish weather, lamps, and I'm going to look at my lounge in a minute with an activity. But you know, I think it's great. You know, it's kind of interesting. I don't know how you feel about it, but I think it's kind of interesting that the kids have got to see our homes inside each other's homes or the bedrooms. You know, that's their really private space, and I hope you've been using their space. We're going to look at that today. And I'm going to go back to the chat. Have you done activities where you've used the space in their house to work activities to include their home? Did you have you used activities where they're using things or the space in their house? Yes or no? In the chat, yes or no? Yeah, 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 great, isn't it? No, you're providing, that's my job. Okay, thank you. Not really, you're curious. All right, well, you know, we'll come to that. And I'm also, at the end of this session, going to allow for some maybe bigger questions and some other ideas. The first thing I want to share with you is contact information, because this is going to be a session where, hang on, can you see this if I put that in there? Did you all see my email address there and contact details? Can you, yes or no? Can you see my contact details? Yes. Okay. So look, if this all becomes a lot, and if I think we're going to record this, so we'll cut out the bit about the shirt and get on with the activities. But contact me or contact Ellie there with any help you need regarding materials. You can contact Ellie. And if you want more ideas, you can contact me. My email address is there. I'm going to start sharing my screen, which begins with my information, because I think it's important for you to know that I'm not just this distant character. I want to help teachers. I have found loads of resources. Maybe you have too. I do have some favorite things I've found, and I will share those links at the end of the session. And there's plenty of ideas on how to teach primary online, how to use Zoom more effectively. Okay, so there's loads of things, and I've got my little collection. And there is also, let me just find it, one more link. Please don't read it now. I want to talk to you. Can you see there? Send to all. There is a link there, which I hope you can see. Can you all see the website which ends with ELT download? ELT-download. Can you see that? Okay, good. Well, look at it later. Don't do it now. But when you click on that, there are a number of articles that I've written about teaching online. And at the bottom and in the tips and techniques, I've also embedded some videos and some blogs by other people, you know, including the British Council, who've provided a lot of content and webinars for you to watch. So there's no shortage of help. And also, you know, you don't have to read everything. You don't have to watch everything. Just think about What do I need for my class? Am I worried about how to keep them engaged? Do I want to know how to use, not cows, visuals? How can I test what they're doing? How can I look after their well-being? Let the question be enough. Find what you need and give yourself an hour or half an hour to find information, and let that be enough, because there's a lot out there and we don't want to be overwhelmed. Now, let's get on with our my own ideas. Let me share my screen. Okay, and Sylvia, please tell me if you can't see this slide, because I hope that I'm showing you all a selection of the sort of primary materials that are available with Ellie Publishing. Sylvia, if you're watching and listening, if you can't see the slide, please let me know, because that would be a problem.
I see them perfectly.
Thank you, Sylvia. Excellent. Okay, great. Now, if you go to ellieonline.com, you can start to make your own choices about those levels and age groups. And as you can see, there are games and puppets and, oh my goodness. But today, I'm just going to look at some of the titles that are new. Fabulous Story Garden, which is a story-based primary course book, and the first in a 3-part series, Start, Move and Fly. And I'm absolutely going to show you some examples where I would use them remotely. All right, and there's just a little bit of time here to get the idea and get started. But I want to show you this. This is free. It's not by Ellie, but it's free and I love it. Now let me show you this. Let me just go into. Let me share my my internet with you. Okay. Sylvia, can we see something called wheelofnames.com coming up on my screen?
Give me a second. Yes.
Coming up now.
I can see it's
can
uploading.
You see?
I can see it's uploading.
Right. Okay. Can you see a gray circle saying click to spin?
Yes, I can.
Great. Okay, everybody. I discovered this recently, and maybe you've seen other things too. Now, it's really a really useful thing. Because, for example, maybe you have some names of people in your class. Normally I would ask volunteers, but let's have names like Mary, we'll have Sylvia, we'll have Lauren. Look what's happening as I write in here. Joe, oh, I don't know, Chloe. Okay. I'm adding names all the time. Ken, Keith. All right, and Edith, which is my mum's name. Now, you see what happened as I wrote the words in, and if I want to choose a name, I click spin, and it chooses a name. Now, you can see immediately as a teacher how useful this is, because now they get, oh, okay, it tells me that Joe wins. You can take away the, you can take away the sound, but this is a good way to choose names in case students feel that you're picking on them. And they can use the same wheel when they work out in breakout rooms, or even when they're playing at home, you give them some activities. But look, this wheel can be anything you want. You maybe you saw earlier that if I put in colors, look at that. Now I can choose a color. And I'll show you how I can use that in a moment. If you're thinking this could be a dice, you're right. One. Let me just put in. Oh, let's stop the red thing. I don't want it to do that anymore. I want it to stop moving. Right. Purple. Thank you. Well done, purple. Purple's a winner. Right. I'm closing it. Now I want to change my spinner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I have a spinner with 6, like a dice. So if you have any games where you want to play or choose pictures, and I'll look at that in a moment, or I could have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I'm not going to waste time by spinning it, but I'm going to come back to that later. Now that is such a cool tool. It's called wheelofnames.com. All right. And that's so useful. You can put in prepositions You could put in question words, why, who, when, and let the wheel. You could open two tabs. One has question words. The other one is maybe tenses. You could put in past simple, present continuous. You know what I mean? Anyway, there's a whole session we can do on spinners, but keep that one in mind, wheelofnames.com. Now I'm going back to my slides now, and as I said, there are all sorts of things you could do with this when you have a course book, because the options and the possibilities are endless. Now I'm going to show you a double page spread from a book called Start, which is a new course book for the starters, movers and flyers, starters in this case. Now, this is where I'm going to start talking about using the course book more closely from the remote teaching perspective. Sylvia, quickly, could you tell me that you can see a double page 51 and page 52 of Start?
Yes, I can see a double spread. Not sure which page number is that.
Right, okay. And in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see a cart with toys, and in the left-hand side, two kids playing.
Yes.
Okay. So, my dear teachers, this is what I'm thinking. Now, here's a very typical but lovely double-page spread from a course book. And what I always do with teachers is to, and I'm sure you're doing this already, but you never know who's watching, that you could be a new teacher, or maybe you always like to go through every exercise, but that's not the way that I do it, not even in the physical classroom. Now, this looks like, I mean, this unit is about he's got, it's got, and it is, and they are, low level, okay? And whose toy is this? Is this your toy? You can see the language going on. But I still think when you've got a primary class, you know, it's great when you're teaching remotely, because what I can do is just think about a focused area and put that on the screen. Now, this is something you should absolutely do when we're back to normal in the physical classroom, is you don't have to go through a book piece by piece. You should break it up. And I think that's crucial, because as I said earlier, students get lost, and somewhere I think they're thinking this is just a book, you know, this is a school book. We want to really keep them focused, and of course visuals are the way to go. So one activity would be, can you remember? So here I am. The course book is asking me to do something, but I'm completely ignoring the course book. The course book's great, but I might want to do something different, and especially with remote teaching. Now, I want to activate the language that we're teaching, and I've decided that's a great picture. I want to use that picture to build up the language in the classroom. I focus them, and then I can go back to the course book. All right, and you can do this on a whiteboard, an interactive whiteboard, when you go back to the physical classroom, or maybe you're in the physical classroom now. Now, what could I do with this? Well, there are many things I could do. I would certainly possibly start my whole lesson with just this picture, which from a psychological point of view is much more interesting and entertaining than a child looking at a course book, which I say is lovely, but I want them to be completely clear and on what I want them to do, and focused on one area of the book. Now then, my teachers, I'm going to give you 15 seconds. 15 seconds, I'm going to count them, whilst you remember as much as you can. Memorize this picture, okay? 15 seconds, go. Okay, now then, what can you remember? Let's, in the chat, I'm going to stop sharing. In the chat or in your questions, what nouns or colors can you remember? Imagine your children doing this. Okay, you remember bed, purple, Oh, can we close the door? I left the door open. Purple, blue, brown, good. Robot. Jeans, okay. Green, yellow, bear. Yes, well done. I'm looking at the chat here. Cards, a desk. Trousers, what's the spelling? Desk, board game. Yes, yes. Banu. Hello, Banu. Oh, hello, friends, if I didn't recognize you. Card, trousers, brilliant. Yeah, you see, you did it. And you've got a good memory, obviously. Now, that activity doesn't have to be in English. This is the controversial thing, and you can disagree. That's up to you. But if I want my class, I'm going to go back to sharing. Hang on, let me go back to sharing. If I want to go back to sharing my screen, can you see the picture again, Sylvia?
Yes, yes, I can, perfectly.
Okay, so for example, we can ask the students to do this in English. Of course, maybe you have a feeling that English lessons should always be in English, but actually I don't necessarily agree with that, because I think it's quite tough. I think we forget how hard that is, and it wouldn't kill the system or your headmaster or headmistress or principal to say for 1 minute the students can give you brainstormed ideas in their own language. And I like that, because then I can collect all the ideas. And many students don't like to say anything because they don't have the English yet. So let them come up for air. I think English only classes is quite hard. And I remember that when I was a kid, you know, English and just French only. It's like being underwater. So most of the time you can be underwater, I suppose, and then coming up for air is like, oh, I can use my own language for a little bit. Thank you, teacher. Okay, good, thank you. Back to English. And I can hear words that they didn't know, but then we can teach them. Robot, monster, lamp, board game. You could also, if you had the picture, you could send it to them, and they would also perhaps have a digital version of the book. All of Ellie's course books are available digitally, and when you buy the print book, when you buy the printed copy of their course books, there's a unique code in the front cover or the back, and it allows access to a digital version of the book. So now they can work together with the book, or they can even look at the pictures together. Now I could go back to my wheel. Okay, now look at this. How about this for an idea? I go back to my wheel and I put in the colors and I spin, all right? And I wait for a color and I find it is green. Don't worry about the colors on the spinner. I know the green is blue. You can disable that thing. Green. So I go back and I say, what can you see, guys? What can you see in the picture? What's green in the picture? What can you see in the picture that's green? All right. Any answers, please? Can you give me some answers? What's green in the picture? I'm going to quickly go and see the chat.
A monster.
Oh, right. Thank you. All right.
The carpet.
Okay. Oh, you're getting the answers. Again. Okay. Carpet, monster, mat. Okay. So now I'm going back to sharing. I'm going to go back to sharing. Oh, you can see my my picture now. Yeah. And you can ask questions. For example, we could do the spinner again, or we could say, there is a green monster. What color is the robot? What color is the radio? What color is the boy's top? Or you can do things like this. Okay, let me go back to stop sharing. Do you do this with your students? Okay, here I am. Hello. You could do things like this. You could say, I know you can't see the picture right now. It's just me and my shirt. The boy's top is purple, and all the students before the class, they have to write a true sign or a false sign. Maybe you're doing this already. So you look at the picture and I can't see the picture either at the moment, but I say the monster was green. Guys, put up is true or false, because it's a memory thing, or you can use it whilst they're looking, because maybe they know it's green, but they don't know the word green in English. So it depends on how the level works, but they go, the monster was green. Was it green? And you can see all the students holding up true or false. Okay. Or you can have things like this, okay? Yes, or no, or you can have a tick or a cross. Now, I don't know if you're doing that, but that's very effective, because if you're seeing all the different cameras and you can see lots of true and false, it's a very good way to know immediately who's getting things right or wrong, and you don't have to keep looking in the chat. Do you do that already? Yes or no? Do you use things like this to see if they're happy? Oh, sorry, happy, not happy, don't really mind, not sure, or I'm pretty annoyed today. Pretty annoyed today. Let me tell you, I want to ask if you do that, because it's a really good way to find out. You do, okay. You use body gestures. Well, yeah. How you feel, guys? All right, you can do all that too, or moving back a bit, you know. Or... So obviously their own body language will tell you, but I think it's a really good way to see at a glance if they're happy. Did they think it was true, or did they think it was false? All right. Okay, well, let's get back to some of the other ideas. All right. All right. And like I said, with a simple picture, you can do things like there is, there are, you've got colors, you could do true or false. If I was with you in the workshop, one day I will be, I hope, wherever you are, although you're all in different places, so that could be interesting. There are so many ways to use that simple picture, but I would absolutely start the whole unit with that picture. That doesn't mean that the course book is not well designed, because it's one of the most beautiful books I've seen in ages. But that just tells me, what can I find to get my students to go where I want them to go before I start giving them more work. Now, in this particular unit, as you can see, above the red box I put there, all right, oh, sorry, you can see that above there are some texts. And so this is leading into teaching the kids how to maybe write some sentences or say some things. In fact, there's a little game there, isn't there, at the top in number 5, to find their favorite toy. And they've got to read and write the toys. Well, you could do that, but I might completely ignore it and just do this part and get the students to sort of recreate simple sentences based on the vocabulary that you've been teaching through the picture. Beautiful, ugly, dirty, clean, you know. And of course, the course book, that's the great thing about course books. They've really made it clear at the beginning of the unit, and the teacher's book, always read the teacher's book. So many great ideas in teachers' books on how to elicit and then scaffold the production of language. And here we're doing some writing. Or maybe in the class, you've got the students to say simple sentences. This is my toy. And hey, where are we? We're at home. So you say to the students, right, okay, guys, come back in 5 minutes. Don't go forever. Come back. I want you here in 5 minutes. Go away and get your favorite toy, all right? Or the day before, you say to them, guys, for tomorrow's class, I want you to have your favorite toy ready, okay? Tell them in your own language. It's not about English. It's about getting them ready for the classroom. I have got my toy. Do you want to see my toy? Okay, well, I don't have a toy as such. This is my this is my favorite thing. All right, it is beautiful. It is red and clean. It isn't old. It's new. Trust me, teachers, this has saved me through lockdown. It's annoyed everybody in my family because it comes with an amplifier. Now, this is me. I've gone away and I found something, because the key, as always, is to personalize the learning. You know, I don't want the students to think I'm filling in answers for a course book or to keep my parents happy. I want to make the English belong to me. What's my favorite toy? Is it old? Is it new? So as you know, we transfer the language into a personal experience. And yes, perfect. In most classes at school, you're not allowed to have a phone. In fact, the kids might even be too young to have a phone. But with the help of their parents and online, they can share pictures with you. And I'll mention some tools later to do that. But if for now I just mention the words, the names of them, there's an application called Padlet, and another one called Nearpod, and you can use Google Documents, in fact, to share pictures and the students' texts, and they can create like a little gallery. I decided I would also include my pet, because kids like dogs, cats, fish, animals. They usually have pets. If they don't, they can talk about a pet in their family, or they can just find another toy. And so I decided to write about my dog. The dog's called Bella. Normally I bring her into the webinars. She sits down here and nibbles my toes. Now, I did a text for my dog. This is my favorite toy. It's a polar bear. He's white and he's got long legs. Typical polar bear. He's old, but I love him. And so there you go. I mean, and all of that from what looks like a pretty complicated text and visual design of 2 pages. And that's what I'm saying, you know, and if you're not doing this should apply to the whole of your teaching life, lockdown or no lockdown. How can I make the language very clear, very specific, control what they see, get the language there, build it up, and in a way the coursebook does it for you. But isn't this more interesting? Don't you think this is a more interesting and interactive way of doing it? And there you go, I finally personalized it. So that's one way in which we can get students to bring things from the home and show them on camera, you know. What have I got here? Nothing, but no toys, just work. My mug of coffee, all right, which is empty and cold, but I don't mind. For you guys, I'll drink cold coffee. Now, here's another example. Same thing. I could have used just the picture. Okay, but I've done that already, so this is just another example. You could take that picture and ask the students to see if they can remember, or maybe you could take the picture and on your computer chop it into little pieces and make a jigsaw and give them numbers and make it a, like, I don't know, 6-piece jigsaw, and let the students help you move the pictures around, you know, and decide together. Send them the pieces of the picture, just because you can use your phone to take a picture or clip the picture from the digital book. What I'm saying is, this would not be a great activity if I just showed the students the picture and asked them to do their best to match the words, because for one thing, I want them to hear the words before they start reading, because the interference from their own language might make them mispronounce. So again, I could control the same way. But I just want to show you that, having done a similar activity to the one before, here's my room. Okay, this is my lounge. And I could get the students to take a picture of any room. It could be their bedroom, it could be their lounge, I don't mind. But it really should relate to the vocabulary we're teaching. And then they can make their own little activity. This took me no time at all. I took a picture of my room, I pasted it into Word or a PowerPoint slide, and then I added a text box with a number, and I put arrows. I mean, if you don't know how to do that, I'm sure that a family member can teach you, but I reckon you can. And I only did 4 questions there. And they're just little ways to make the students ask their own questions and adapt the language and the pictures from the course book to stuff at home. I hope you like that idea. I'm not going to go to chat, but I think you'll find that's making a great connection with the real world and also making the most of being at home, okay? In Story Garden, if you look at the bottom left corner of the slide, I'm actually now referring to a new series called the Story Garden. It's a beautiful new course. It takes famous stories, as you can see here, for example, The Little Mermaid, and it uses the language of the story as the main content to teach the grammar and vocabulary. So I'll leave you some links on the LE website to check that out. It's just come out. And there you have a great example of, again, I've used the vocabulary from the home, bed, wardrobe, bookshelf, armchair, and all of this in the context of a story. And then I had another idea, right? I could go to YouTube. I haven't got time now. There's probably, I mean, every fairy tale that is in this course book probably has a YouTube clip from Disney, which is out there on YouTube, like a little clip from Cinderella or a little excerpt from, you know, Pinocchio. And here, I'm sure if you Google Little Mermaid, you'll find a scene. And if you look for a scene where you can stop the scene, where they're in a house or they're in the jungle or whatever, for whatever vocabulary, you just take a screenshot and then you can ask the students to make the labels. Again, this is not something that's just for the remote classroom, but it does maximize the potential to use our screens. Again, I'm sure most teachers know how to take a screenshot of anything, including a moving video. You can pause it, screenshot, put it in your slide, put labels, and that would be a lovely way. In fact, when I prepare more workshops, I'm going to be doing more work on Story Garden and the other course called Start. I will be doing that because there are lots of free film clips to go with the very stories that they know and they love, which then takes us into storytelling possibilities. Here's a nice activity where you could give the students 4 different pictures, and they could work in groups or in breakout rooms, okay? Or maybe you could just work as a group, a big group, and then you could describe things or get the kids to ask questions if you model the questions, as these kids are doing. Is there a blue armchair? You know, so you're focusing on one of the pictures, and then the kids ask questions. Is there a blue armchair? No, I say. Is there a red sofa? No. Is there a sink and a purple chair? Yes, yes. And you know, that's another activity. Or you could ask 2 students together. You could use the name wheel. So Mary, could you ask Banu a question to see which picture she's looking at? And then you have to watch them, you know. So that's another way you can use them. And a perfect way to then give the students some project work. Maybe they could Google some pictures of typical houses in the UK, or typical homes in the USA, typical homes in Australia, typical homes in your country. You could divide the class into as many groups as you want to come back the next day with 4 or 5 pictures of different, you know, a typical living room in the United States, a typical kitchen in Japan. All right, because we want them to expose themselves to world culture, and they can present back to the class. I found my country was Japan. Here is a kitchen in Japan. There is a saucepan. Here is the window. The table is red. You know, it doesn't have to be about the British house, but this is an opportunity to start to think about the world around them. You know, we're getting outside our own world. So it could be for projects, but also flipped classroom work. So by flipped classroom, I mean, we could ask the students to do some very manageable tasks before the next class that you have with them. Flipped classroom is when you've given them something before they come to the classroom. It's got to be clear, manageable, and relevant to the next lesson. And then the students have done the work. Maybe they've prepared some things to say about homes, and then you can start to use the language from there instead of looking at the topic cold, you know. I've got an alien. Yeah, have you got an alien? Right, everything feels alien at the moment. Here's another idea which some teachers do and some don't know about. So okay, look at this picture. Looks like we're teaching legs, hands, eyes, arms, ears, feet, foot, hair, nose, mouth, tail. Right, great. I could show the picture, but why don't I do this with the kids? I'm going to come back to my screen, stop sharing. Right, hello again. Do you know this idea? Sometimes you can do it with buying little whiteboards. You make a little whiteboard for yourself, and the kids do the same. All you need is one of these little plastic wallets. Okay, I guess they have to buy it, but maybe there's a way of using some plastic from packaging they've got. Some card, all right, some card and a piece of paper. So I've got 3 things here, and I slide them in, okay, and now I have my own little interactive, well, little whiteboard anyway. And I have a cloth. Now I can do the alien thing in my own way. So I could say, right, Maybe I've pre-taught the words legs or eyes and ears. You know how to do that, but the course book could be your platform. And maybe you say, look, hi guys, this is my alien. My alien. What should we call him? What should we call the alien? Oh, okay, let's call him let's call him Boris. And this is his body. Okay, I'm going to ask the questions here. First person to tell me how many eyes for my alien. How many eyes? How many eyes does he have? It's your alien. We're going to make him up. 5. Blimey. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. How many arms has my alien got? How many arms? Wow, a lot of people like the 3 arms thing. That's because it's hard to put. Okay, so he's got, they could be legs, I realize, but I'm not very good. So I've given him an arm coming out of his head. Why not? Okay, what about, sorry, Banu, 3 legs, majority rules. It's a democracy in the webinar. What about how many legs, guys? I don't have enough ink and time, so let's make it 1 leg. He's going to have 1 leg. I'm sorry, I've decided. He's having 1 leg to save us time. How many ears has my alien got? How many ears has my alien got? No ears. You can't hear anything. Fair enough. He's got little side things on his, and put little things, and they're just little blobs. No ears. Can't hear anything. Okay, that was me being silly. What about, has he got hair? Long hair or short hair? My alien has he got long hair or has he got short hair? Long, okay. And that's very true because I've been in lockdown and everybody has long hair. In the UK, we open the hairdressers on the 5th of April. There you go. Well, he's missing 2 things. I want 2 more things. What could they be? What 2? Keep it clean. What 2 things? What 2 things do we need for our alien? A nose. Good answer. Big nose or little nose? And a mouth. Nose and mouth. Thank you, teachers, for being so practical and helpful and clean. A bow. Oh, I like that. You like the bow? Okay, that's his bow. It looks more like a butterfly, but we want a nose. Okay. It looks like he's got a set of lungs hanging out of his body, or kidneys. But we're not doing kidneys until they're older. But he's super cute. Thanks, Murto. What about the nose? Quickly, we haven't got much time. Little nose or big nose? Big. Right, you asked for it. All right, it's looking like a horrendous alien. I'm not sure he looks friendly, so I'm going to give him a nice happy mouth. It looks like a sort of friendly alien. Not sure really. Boris is a bit confusing in many ways. Well, there you go. So there's, right. Do you do that already? Do you do a little mini thing with them, a little mini whiteboard? Have you ever done that? It's not my idea. I've seen it before. I mean, I've done it in other ways in the past, but I've seen teachers doing it. It works. I can't say all these ideas are mine. I just like using them. Have you done this before? Have you used it? The weirder, the better. True. Who, me? No, the monster. Right. Have you done this before? Yes or no? Just so I can see if it's helpful. No. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Maybe you'll try. Yes, no, okay. Let's go back. Let's go back to see if we can do some more ideas. Let's do some more ideas. Andy, okay, right. Show my screen, and back we go. So there we go. Now look, that was a perfectly normal and beautiful piece of course book design, but I got out of there and did it with my lovely little confusing, messy Boris with his lungs hanging out, which is actually a bow tie. But then the kids could make theirs. And even if they can't make that thing with the plastic, they could draw them and, you know, show them. This is my script. You know, they could show their pictures and share them, describe them. Now, maybe that's not something that's new, because we've done this before in our classrooms in the days when we weren't teaching remotely. But I'm just showing you that those ideas don't have to disappear. In fact, I think they're more important than ever, don't you? And then you've got questions again. So now you can really use the language. Guess your partner's alien. So this looks like the students could design their own alien, all right? And they ask questions. So you give them 5 minutes or 10, depending on the class and maybe how much time they need to relax, because, you know, you're doing all the work here. I'm doing all the talking, but it's a lot. I mean, you're teachers, so you can handle it, right? From me today, I mean. But if you just want to have to take a break, say, guys, you've got 5 minutes. Draw an alien. We've got 5 things: hair, nose, mouth, teeth, and ears, legs, arms, whatever you want to do, whatever you feel you're teaching. Go away and do it. And you can color. You can have pink arms and green nose. The questions can then be between the kids to each other, not just you. You don't want to be the center all the time. And there you go. We've got, in this story garden, we've got parts of the body by using Aladdin and the magic lamp, you know. So I do think stories are critical, and that's great that they're in the course books. Of course, I always tell teachers to use graded readers, you know. Okay, I didn't get Aladdin today. It's downstairs, but I've got, for example, Snow White. I think Snow White's in here, and I could do some reading, you know. I think it's a great idea with every class, physical classroom or remote classroom, to read to the students for 5 minutes every day. Maybe at the beginning, or maybe at the end, or maybe in the middle. Because stories are not just fun, they are fun, but they repeat language. And the more you hear English at or below your level, you're actually helping them, because the course book is giving them new language. These readers are designed to repeat the language. But the Wizard of Oz says the same thing to all of them. First, they must kill the bad witch of the West, and then you can show the kids, and then you can see a monster here, an alien. So it's really good if you can get, you know, graded readers. Ellie have got hundreds of them, and I'm always talking about get the stories with the stories in the course book. Now here's another idea. How much time have we got left? We've got 5 or 10 minutes. In a book like Start, a lot of course books have this, but in Start, the new book, and other LE primary titles, you've got a picture dictionary at the end of the book. Now, that's okay, that's lovely. It looks like, you know, the kids could look at pictures, check the spelling, but you need to be able to work with it. Well, trust me, the teacher's guide will give you ideas, but I've got some today. What I did, now I'm not teaching all this vocabulary at once because they're all different topics. So that's what a picture dictionary does. It groups things, but there's too much here for the kids. So I pick one. See what I did? I took the first one. I'm going back there now. I can't hide it. You can see I chose the top right-hand corner. I chose 12 animals: cat, dog, bird, mouse, frog, duck, chicken, sheep, goat, cow, horse, and donkey. And then I printed out, and you can look on my screen, you can see I printed them out. I stuck them on some card. But look, isn't it amazing? In the physical classroom, you need to make a really big one, don't you? There's my monster, there's Boris again. And you've got to make a big one, and they can all see it, you know? Well, now I don't need to. I just go like this, all right? Or, we've looked at the animals. You could do a similar thing to another activity I was doing earlier about memory. I took a picture of all the animals on my desk here. Then I scattered them about. If you count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I jumbled them up, and one was missing. Whoops, whoo. So there they are, jumbled up, and then one's missing. Okay, do you know which one's missing? Can you, there it is. Everybody's there. What's missing? Okay, no time. It's the cat. And if you thought it was the cat, you can give yourself a pat on the back for being so observant. You can do that by taking pictures with your smartphone with the flashcards just from the picture dictionary. How about this one? Okay, supposing I do this. Now I can't, let me just stop sharing the screen for a moment. Stop sharing. Here we go. Now look, I could do this with my little mini flashcards. There's an animal behind here. Now I'm going to watch the chat. You can do this with your chat on your remote teaching. Let me find my chat. Okay, teachers, get ready. Which animal? Can you guess already which animal I'm going to show you? Can you guess? Cat. Murto says the cat. Murto says, oh, Murto's guessing everything. Simona, you think it's a cat. Donkey. So I've got the kids' attention, right? You're thinking, oh, I want to know who's. So then I could just reveal a little bit. Oh. Now, what? Okay. Is it a cat? It's a dog. Right, great. One more. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. Which one now? Which animal have I got now? Which animal have I got now? Dog? Giraffe? Maybe I should give you more time to look at those animals. We're doing farmyard animals. Rosamine, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just making some fun here because we're all a bit crazy. But this was farm animals. I didn't show you the picture long. Mouse, duck. No, Rosamine, I'm only joking. It's fine. But I like giraffes. Do you know the giraffe has the largest heart of all animals? I think because it's true. They have a long neck. Oh, you know that, of course. But they need a large heart to pump all the blood up to the neck. It's true. Things you learn on webinars. I believe the giraffe has a very large heart. And that's me trying not to go on too late. So look, can we guess? Can we guess? What do you think it is? What do you think now? Is that a cow? Really? Do you think it's okay? You got it. All right. So that's a good activity, and you're just using these little things. All right. Or you could put them in a bag. You know, they're all in a bag, and you go, which one is it? Which one have I got? Oh, it's the dog. You know, like that. You could even, I don't know why, but I seem to have a typical teacher. I seem to collect toilet rolls, probably because there's nothing else you can do in lockdown except go to the toilet and collect toilet rolls. It's just an old teacher's habit. It just seems a waste to throw them away. And I'm thinking, well, maybe I could set them up here, you know, and I could make a little. I could have a little conversation, you know, little. And we've got the donkey noises, haven't we? And we've got. That's my match. And they could have conversations, you know. Hello, I'm a donkey. Hello, donkey. You've got big ears. Don't be so rude. You are very tasty. And then you get the idea. The thing is, these little flashcards have all come from the picture dictionary. And the student can do that. They can even, if they've got the help of their parents or their older primary to use their video, they can make their little videos of a conversation. You know, what's your name? What color? I'm gray. I'm a gray donkey. I'm a gray donkey. Great gray dinosaur. What have you got here? You can give clues and ask them to guess. Of course, absolutely. Great idea. Someone's giving me their email address. That's fine. I'll write to you. No problem. Love to have new friends. Now, let's go back to the presentation and see if I can do some more things before we go. There's so much we can do. Okay, back to the presentation. I gave them numbers. I just put numbers on a picture. I clipped the picture dictionary page onto Word, a Word document, and I just put numbers on the words. I just put numbers in. You could even write them and take a picture. And I could share this on Google Docs, maybe, or I could put it on a PowerPoint slide. And I could use that spinner, couldn't I? And we generate numbers. The number becomes 5. And we go, whoa. And the kids could guess, you know, tell us, what is it? It's a frog. What color is it? It's green. What does it do? it runs. It doesn't run. It jumps. Okay, what noise does it make? Blah blah. So just by going back, this is the whole point of what we're doing here is I've got a page from a course book. What can I do with it? Well, I'm not going to just give them a page like this. It's crazy. It's just beautiful, but I can't teach with it. I need to be creative. So I chopped them up, not the animals, the cards. And then I did some, can you guess what's missing? Then I gave them numbers. I mean, you could think already, what would I do with this? Oh, this was great. This is amazing. I actually decided, hey, if I go to the internet, I can click on animals and get their noises. If I look, I didn't look for very long, and I can download them. If you go to freeanimalsounds.org/downloads, you can download the animals making a noise and put them next to the pictures, and then the kids could click on these sounds. You could give them the controls from your Zoom and say, click on the sheep, click on the cow. Oh, that's brilliant. Excellent. Guys. Right, thank you. Some sheep never stop talking. So look, I've just taken some things off the internet. I didn't know about them until recently. Then I thought, how can I put them together? And I think you'll have loads of ideas if you would just stay creative, right? Oh, no, guys, be quiet. And then I've done the same thing here. And it all goes to a page in Start. So you have a picture, but I went straight to the back of the book where I found the picture dictionary to teach the words, maybe the sounds, colors, legs, hair, ears, noses, whatever. And now I can do something that looks much more like a course book and work with the material in a more academic way. Because, yeah, there is a place, a time and place for teaching students to produce the language. I can do this. I can't do that. A donkey can do this. A crocodile can do that. So I hope you can see that what we're doing is lifting things out of the course book, personalizing them, looking in the world around us, being creative with all sorts of things we can find, just like we do as primary teachers, and finding out if things are true or false, or if the students are happy or just angry. You know, I think that that's the way to go. And I'm sure you've heard things today that you've figured out for yourself. If not, I hope that I've been helpful there too. This is a nice one. You could spin, you can make a 6-number spinner, and then you can see what number it lands on. So you go, bounce a ball, number 6, bounce a ball. So they can pretend we're bouncing a ball, okay? And then you spin it again. Oh, number 2. Or you could have a dice. Maybe you have a dice at home, you roll it, but you show the camera so they can see you're not cheating. And you can say, oh, number 3, push-ups. Come on, guys, push. If it is safe to do so, and you have the room, and you don't hurt yourself or anyone else, do press-ups, do 3 press-ups. Okay, and you can show the cameras, and they're showing the press-ups, because you can still do PE at home. And trust me, I've seen my 14-year-old doing his PE for his class. And here we are right in the middle of a primary course doing it as part of CLIL, which is, you know, content and language integrated learning, other subjects from the curriculum put together. All right, and look, they can even see there what they can do, how many hops or jumping jacks they can do in 1 minute. So, you know, taking the course book, bringing it to life, being active. There you go. This is me making a 6-number spinner to decide. So all of these slides I'm going to send to you over the next couple of days. If you've registered, which you did, then because the lovely people at Ellie, they know your email address, I will send you all the links and these slides to give you plenty of opportunities to try creative things. There's a nice page I found in the Story Garden. A happy star is, a sad star is, and this, what I would do here is I would decide with the group, hey guys, let's decide what color is a happy star, what color, and then we all disagree, but then we have a vote, and maybe everybody, the majority agree a happy star might be orange or yellow, okay, and that's the color. So they have a copy of this, or they simply draw one, all right, Here's my star. And then I color it yellow. So instead of the angry face and the happy face, now you can just see all the kids' stars. How do you feel today, guys? Happy, sad, yellow, black, pink, whatever you've decided. In other words, what I've done here is take the page and make it something more three-dimensional, something they can use to show you how they feel and how their feelings are with other things, scared and surprised. And those adjectives could be used when you're reading a story with them. Are you surprised? Are you scared? Are you sad? There you go, that's me. So I used for reference here materials from the new courses from Ellie Publishing. And they are part of a whole series of new books coming out from Ellie. And there's the website. Just check them out. Just check out Story Garden or put in Start at the website Ellie Online, and you can see much more about those courses. And you can see more sample pages, which is really good because you can get a feeling for how you can adapt them. But of course, Ellie have been going a long time with a lot of successful materials for all ages, especially primary, and I love their games. They've got games and toys and puppets, and you should check them out, and I'll keep doing more talks about them. There's some talks already on their YouTube channel called Ellie Multimedia, and that's really all I have time for today. I'm going to give you my details again and switch to just my face and my shirt, and see if there are any questions that I can help answer before I go. Stop sharing, and here I am. Okay, guys, I hope that was useful. I think this was recorded, so I think we can play the recording. If you just keep a lookout on the Ellie Facebook page, or your newsletters come if you're registered with Ellie, or just email us. I'd like to answer any questions I can for now. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you very much. It's okay. If anybody wants to ask me anything now, like, Andy, when are you going to get your hair cut? As soon as I'm allowed. You're welcome. Any questions or reactions or whatever, I'm happy to be helpful, but I'm also happy to be questioned. Let me see. You're welcome. All right. Well, let me put some links. I'm going to send you a lot here, so you might want to copy and paste what I send you now. This is a lot of stuff. Look in the chat, and just grab what you see in the chat here. All right. Now, hopefully, if you copy and paste all that into somewhere else, because when I close this session, you'll lose this. So if you want to copy and paste it, or in fact, I could put this in my email to you in the next couple of days with the slides. You can look it all up. But there's so much there that will help you. I hope you've seen a lot of things already that are familiar, just done a bit differently. You'll notice that it takes a lot of energy, like primary teaching is always like that. But this is a webinar, so it's my job to keep going for an hour. But if you're teaching all day, we have to provide some time to pace the lesson, and you know that, okay? So you could say to the students, right, draw your alien, okay, 10 minutes, we'll come back. Keep the video on, keep your video on, keep present, let them feel you're there. Just sit and drink your water. Any questions? Anybody? Questions? Better to receive it by email. Fair enough, Frederica, I agree. All right. So I'll put together an email with these slides and links, and in the next couple of days, you will receive them from the lovely people at Ellie. And I hope you can take away some ideas there. There's usually a lot. Just pick one or two. Try one thing every lesson until it's right, and let's hope Boris gets better soon. All right, thank you everybody, and Sylvia, that's me finished, I think. I'll be contacting everybody through Ellie with links to the slides and to the resources that we found to help you teach primary kids. Good luck everybody. I hope you stay well, and keep going. You've done a great job.
Thank you, Andy.